Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. We are back again. Like every Wednesday, we are doing our team training. Same time on Wednesday mornings. Y'all feel free to come on in and grab some nuggets. And me and Michelle, we come on here just to share things that we believe and that we actually do that can help you grow your business. And so Michelle actually came up with a wonderful topic. So I'm actually gonna let her kick it off today and go first, and I'm gonna pick it back up because I got my notes together for it as well. So we're gonna dive on into a game plan, the importance of a game plan. So Michelle, it's all yours. The floor is yours.
All right, good morning. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope you all had a good and safe Independence Day. What we want to talk about today is the value of having a plan in place. Have you ever thought about doing something or had a dream, something that you wanted to achieve? Maybe it was a project that you wanted to work on, or just something you wanted to accomplish. And life happens and it never comes to fruition, never comes to be. Hold on. Did you miss the nickel? No, I didn't, but I got a call. Perhaps it's a nickel. She said yes. Oh. This is one of the beautiful things about this business. It's also one of the challenges sometimes. But anyway, what I've noticed about myself is that if I don't have a game plan in place, like if I haven't taken it from my head and put it down on paper and created a system that I want to use or created a schedule or a timeline for how soon I want to accomplish something, it never happens. It's just a dream if you don't write it down. And so when you take it from your head, from thoughts of, oh, I would like to do that, or I want to start this new program by this date, if you don't take it from here and actually put it down on a piece of paper and start working towards that, it's always going to stay here. It's never going to happen if you don't create a structure for it. And so, what I have been finding here in about the last 6 months is, we had a death in our family, and then we got COVID, and I didn't feel good, and then kids are out of school for the summer, and so I've sort of found myself struggling to make things happen in my business, and it's because I didn't have a plan. Life kind of happened and I got off course. And so, what I did here this last week is I sat down and I wrote out a calendar of events. Like, uh, myself and one of our other leaders had decided, all right, we're going to do a 28-day reset. And we're going to start that. Like, we talked about it and we talked about it. And there, without a date to start on, then you never really get the wheels moving on it. And so we said, okay, we're going to start on the 14th of July. And it was kind of oh, we're going to start on the 14th of July. So I better get some things moving. And then once you put it down on paper, like you decide this is when we're starting, then you have to say something to somebody else. You have to verbalize it. Because if it just goes from your head to the piece of paper, then it becomes easy to wad that piece of paper up and throw it away. Or to scratch it off, we'll just push that back. But when we verbalize it to another person, we say it out loud to the world, then all of a sudden there becomes some accountability. There becomes a reason to push forward with it. And so we set this start date. And then what I did is I took that farther and I broke it down and said, okay, we have 9 days until that start date. What do I need to be doing between now and that date to get the momentum in place and moving forward so that it's not just a date that comes and goes, that we actually have some success with it? And so I said, all right, let's do some info meetings. Let's schedule some things, some events that we can start getting people to. And so I just, sometimes we stagnate ourselves with Is that the perfect date? Is that the right time? Are enough people going to be able to come if I schedule it at this time? Well, what if I schedule it at that time? And so then we stagnate ourselves. And Coach Palmer said one time, done is better than perfect. And so I just put dates on the calendar. Like, if nobody shows up, okay, but I'm putting a date on the calendar and I'm creating action for myself and my business. And so created those dates and that plan that's like, okay, we've got these things coming. We can drive people to these events. And then I shared it with my team. And so we've got some momentum going with it and some activity going. And with that 28-day program, I said, okay, we're starting this date and it's going to be 28 days, which puts us into the middle of August. Then I want to use that momentum to bring new people in to help them get started, to start their transformations. And if we can do that for 28 days through the middle of August, and then we start a recruiting campaign the middle of August and going into September, where we're doing a recruit 20 people in 30 days, September 1st through September 30th, and use that momentum to drive us into the event in October. Like, holy moly, we can get some good team momentum going. We can get personal momentum going. And when you have an actual framework in place for your next period of time, maybe it's 2 weeks, maybe it's 30 days, maybe it's 90 days. But if you have a structure in place that says, these are the milestones that I'm working towards, these are the events I'm driving to, and this is the goal that I want to accomplish, it suddenly becomes much easier to achieve than this idea in your head that, oh, I want to say qualify for the rank of officer. I want a title advance to officer because I want to qualify for that Mexico trip that the company's got out there. And, if you just think, oh, I want to advance to officer so I can qualify, that probably seems too big, depending on where you're starting at. That might seem unattainable. But when you put a structure in place and break it down so that you have little goals to work towards, little goals achieved consistently over time are going to create big results. And so, I'm excited to now have a calendar of events in place because that has increased my productivity and my income producing activities in this last week like nothing else over the last 4 to 6 months has. And so, Aunt, if you have anything that you want to add in with that, you're really good at the daily method of operations. So talk about that maybe, or whatever notes you had for that game plan and how to execute it.
Yeah, and it's absolute. Michelle hit it right on the head, and that's definitely the route that I'm also going as well. You guys, whether you call it a game plan, a blueprint, a scenario, a scheme, a strategy, whatever it is, whatever word you want to use, you're gonna need it. And see, a game plan is also necessary. But when I think about game plan, I also think about pretty much every profession in life had successful professions, successful coaches, whether you served in our country, like me and Evan was talking about, guess what? They all had game plans of what they were going to do and what they needed to get accomplished. Bill Belichick, one of the best coaches to ever do it, has a game plan. Andy Reid, we can go on and on. Phil Jackson, they all had game plans on what they wanted to do before the game, and so do you. So if all these people are having success in their areas of life, what about you? Why? What is your game plan for the next 7 days? What is your game plan for the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 for the rest of the year? The halfway mark was July 1st. Are you where you thought you would be? If not, okay. What you had wrote down, it's okay. Tear it up. It's a great day to start over right now. You can start over right now and say, you know what? These next 6 months aren't going to be like the last 6 months. These last 6 months, maybe you were a little lazy. Maybe you wasn't organized. Maybe you didn't have your game plan down. This is a great time for you to sit down and put it out on paper and make it happen. You know, and one of the things with the daily method of operation that really keeps you going, and goals are great, dreams are great, but activities are always better. So your game plan should include activities. Whether it is, hey, you know what? I'm reaching out to two people today. Whether it be 8 o'clock in the morning when my kids are asleep, or at lunchtime when they sleep, or when at my lunch break, or after everybody else is settled down after dinner, I'm calling two people. So you need to have an activity, a daily method of operation within your game plan. Every single day, you should be doing some kind of activity for your business. Every single day. And the reason why I say that is because I watch people like Todd. Me and Todd did a Zoom yesterday for our team in South Carolina, but but the man was on a hike. He found service and did the Zoom from while on vacation with his wife, but did something, at least one thing. So at least I know he did one thing while he was on vacation. See, that's the thing. Leaders find ways to get things done. And that's you. Everybody on here is a leader because none of y'all would be on the Zoom at 10 a.m. You could be doing anything else. Michelle could be playing with the kids. Evan could be playing with his. Mike could be, relaxing, watching TV. Everybody could be doing something else. But at 10 o'clock, at 10:13 a.m. Central Time right now, you're on the Zoom. And then Michelle and them, they're an hour ahead. Her and Mac, they're an hour ahead. It's 9:13. They could be doing anything else with their life, starting their day off, and they're right here on this Zoom. Reason why is because you are a leader and you want something. It's something that you want. I don't know exactly what you want out of this. I don't know if you just need the extra $500. I don't know if you need the extra $1,000, or maybe you want to replace your current income and go full time. I don't know what that is, but you got to figure it out and then put that on top of your game plan. Like, hey, my kids' college tuition is that's what this game plan implements. See, you got to put your why with that game plan. Hey, this is what it implements. Hey, getting out of credit card debt. That's what this game plan is going to get me to. Whatever it is, you got to figure out why and push towards it. See, my goal is I just never want to have to go back to the corporate America, but I also have so many goals and dreams that I want to give back to the world. But I know that finances is what you have to do that. People can say whatever they want to say, but you do need income. If you didn't need income, none of us would go to work. None of us would have our own businesses. None of us would do anything. Finances are important, and God allowed it to be here on this earth for a reason. And so you just have to figure it out, and you got to add that game plan to it. The game plan is back to it because that is really what's important. That's how you're going to get to the next rank. That's how you're going to get there. Once I started doing that and started adding my daily things, and you know what, I'm gonna post one time on social media. It's an activity. You know what, I'm gonna reach out to two people, and you find what niches work best for you. I would say anywhere from 2 to 5 people if you're part time. So if you're doing this part time, 2 to 5 people a day. Don't try to overdo it. You can, but don't stress yourself out where in 2 weeks you're tired and don't want to do nothing else. Well, just do 2 to 5 people a day. Add that to your game. If you're full time, it needs to be 5 to 10. You need to double it. If you're doing it full time, you need to do 5 to 10. And all I could always do is relate back to when I first got started because I didn't have time. And I remember it was always, you know what, I'm reaching out to two people. I need two people to either watch a video, come to a party, sit down and have lunch with me, or jump on a three-way phone call. It was either one of those four things. And now, if I would have had social media, it probably been 5 things. But the video actually turns into the social media part because you can send somebody a video, and if they watch it, that's your 2 exposures on the day. 2 exposures. I heard Deb Snyder say this. She said, grab 2 pennies and put it in your pocket. Put one in your left pocket, put both of them in your left pocket. And when the day is over, every time you talk to those two people, when you talk to one, put the penny in the right. And when you talk to the second, put it over there. So that's to give you some kind of accountability, something to remind you, hey, I got two people I need to reach out to. Now, if it's 5 you want to get to, we'll put 5 pennies in your pocket. And if you don't like pennies, put 5 quarters. And if you don't like quarters, then put $5. And if you really thinking big, put 5 $100 bills in your pocket. And when the other 5, when you get done with all 5 of them, put them in the other pocket because it will remind you of what you're pushing this for. See, you got to find something. You got to dig deep and figure out why it is. But then also small steps like Brent always talks about. Small steps, you guys, small steps. You got to do something because when you do something, something happens. It's the law of nature. It's law. When you do something, something happens. When you pick up the phone, you either get an answer or you don't. What you either gonna pick up and you say, "Hey, oh," you're either nervous, you're either gonna mess up, or you learn from it, and you move on. But every single day, and I'm gonna end off with this, and then I'll pass it back to Michelle, uh, or we can open it up for questions if you have any questions. But always remember this: every game, regardless of what sport, has a winner, but every winner has a game plan. See, nobody just wakes up and say, "Hey, we're gonna win the game," but then practice all week. Nope. Have you ever seen a coach on the sideline without the playbook? Evan, I know Max served as well, and Evan, if you don't mind, unmute for me real quick. Thank you for your service, first of all, Evan. But Evan,
Pleasure.
you have you served? Have you been deployed anywhere else outside the U.S.?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Evan, have y'all ever went over there deployed without a game plan?
No.
That's all
Being
we need to
polite.
know. These are people that put their life on the line for us to have freedom here in America. And if you're not in America, your country has people that serve your country as well. But these are people who put their life on the line, who don't go out into the field without a game plan. So how are you gonna go out into this world without a game plan of what you want to get done in your business? You gotta quit doing that. You can't have success without the game plan. And that's where I'm gonna end it off, and I'm gonna pass it back to you, Michelle.
Yeah, and to tie in with that, we have a choice. We have a choice every single day what we're going to do. Are we going to sit on the couch and do nothing? Are we going to get into the office and plug in and start doing some activity? Are we going to do our exercise, or are we just going to watch Netflix? It's a choice every single day. And I was reading a devotional book with my son this morning, and I wanted to just read a section of it to you because it was really valid, and actually was after I told Aunt what we wanted to talk about today that I read this. And so it just confirmed that, yes, this is where we're going this morning. And it said, you and I can choose what we will do each day. We choose our thoughts, words, attitudes, and behaviors. We cannot always choose what our circumstances will be, but we can choose how we will respond to them. We are free agents. When we use our freedom to choose, we can choose to make each day count, to accomplish something worthwhile, or we can choose to waste the day. And then, because we have free will, we pay a price to do not only the right thing, but to do the wrong thing. And in this case, the right thing is choosing a game plan, identifying our goals. And if we do the wrong thing, which is inactivity, we're going to pay the price for that as well. So it says, I submit to you that the price we pay for wrong choices is much greater and leaves us sorrowful and filled with regret and misery. But the price to do the right thing is worth it. So identify what it is that you're working towards today. Might be a big goal, might be a little goal, but whatever it is, choose to take a step. Choose to move towards it and to move forward. And then even if it's just a little bit every day, you will make progress. And so the book that I'm reading from today is Seize the Day by Joyce Meyer. And another book that I would highly encourage, and I've recommended it before, but we've got some new people on the call today. If you've not ever read The 1% Rule by Tommy Baker, I highly recommend getting a hold of that book and reading it. It's a real short one. And if you drive and are, on the road, or it's easier to listen to something rather than sit down and read, they have it available on audio. And I want to say it's maybe a 4-hour audio book. So it's really short and easy to digest. And it's got some amazing strategies for how to break down your goals And if you're moving forward 1% every day, you know, if you add up all that 1% every day at the end of a year, that's 365% by addition strategy. But when you take that 1% and you look at what it's actually doing, it's exponential what's happening for you. So, if anybody has any thoughts or questions that they want to share, happy to open it up. But really, that's what we wanted to hit on this morning. And we don't need to drag it out. If there's additional comments that people want to contribute, by all means. But just having that game plan and making a choice to move forward and make yourself and your business and your family a priority. That's what I wanted to share with you guys today. Anybody?
Well, if there's no questions, hey, that's all we had, you guys. It was short, sweet. You know, we only gonna be on here every Wednesday for 20 to 30 minutes or so, and that's our goal is just to come drop off things that we trying out, we're working out ourselves, or things we failed at that could help you not have to fail going forward. But that's what we want to do every single Wednesday. So, all right, let me stop the recording and